Okay, I'm sharing my screen. So previously we saw this servlet application, and we were able to execute certain piece of it. Usually we haven't printed anything on web page yet. It was just console thing. Everything we are printing, it was going inside this console. Okay, and if we run this web application, it looks like this. Hello from index page. This is from web page. That's from here. Hello from index page. Okay, great. So before start working on other section, let's see some basic HTML tag. One basic tag which is quite popular, that is anchor tag, and I hope you guys are familiar with this anchor tag, which actually creates a hyperlinks to your web application or links basically. So that's how we create a hyperlink. So for now we are skipping servlet. We are focusing on how to write some basic HTML tags. So this is anchor tag, which is used to create hyperlinks, and I hope you guys are familiar with hyperlinks. Let me give you an idea. Let's say I want to say Java wiki page. Okay, I want to open its Wikipedia page. So this is a web page application, and you can see lots of contents are here marked or written in blue color. And when I hover the mouse, this pointer becomes hand, right? Like this, it becomes hyperlink. That means these are hyperlinks. And if you click on this, as soon as you hover, you can see at the bottom bottom left side, uh, one more link is coming. When you click, it opens a new page. And again, this web page is full of links, the hyperlinks. So something similar you can also create by using this anchor tag. So what you have to do, anchor tag has some attribute. You can write www. Let's say I want to create a open a Google homepage dot google.com or homepage, let's say. Okay, so I just did this change. I don't need to refresh my project because it's a UI change. I can simply reload and things will come up. And you can see it's written in blue and it is underlined. And if I hover the mouse, it becomes hand. Yep, it is becoming. When I click, oops, something happened, which is not working. Good. It says 40 not found and request source is slash first servlet then google.com. That's bad, right? It is not working the way we thought. Okay, let's try to give this way. Will this help? Let's try this out. Going back, reload. Okay, clicking again, and yep, this time it is working. So that's how we give hyperlinks. We have to make sure that what is its extension, whether it is HTTP or HTTPS. Usually it's HTTPS. Okay, so that's how we click hyperlinks. So if you want to go to next page, you can do this. Or if you want to open a new page, there's one attribute target, and here underscore, then type blank. Before blank there's underscore. Okay, because it's a theme, so it's not showing this. Now you can see underscore blank. Now this is done. Going back, refresh. Now if I click, see, it doesn't load that page here. It creates a new tab. So this is for that. If I click, it opens a new tab. Okay, great, it's working. So that means we are able to load multiple pages through this anchor tag. Good thing about this hyperlink is if you want to open, you can open or open web pages in your project. So I just copied this line, pasted it, and this time instead of giving this whole part, if I say slash, I'll say home.html. Okay, obviously I have to create this page. So under web app, I'm going to create a new and then pick HTML file and name it same home.html. Done. And here I'll just simply print one thing inside home.html page. Done. And here I'll just move. Again, it's a web change, so I don't need to reload the servers. Server is required to reload when you are doing any backend change. That means Java, if you write any or modified any Java code, only then you have to restart your server. For UI changes, it's pretty cool. Just do the change, go back to web page and reload, and you can see it's there. But you can see it's next to it. So what I want to move this home page to next line. So the tag is BR tag. BR for break. Let's add one more break. Saved, going back, reload, and you can see it's moved. Okay, when I click on this, okay, again it is complaining. The resource is not available. So if you want to refer something which is present in your project structure, so you have to give the project name, that is first servlet app and slash. Okay, let's try this. Does this works or not? So file changed and reload, click. Oh, now it is picking up two times. You can see it says first available, two times it's happening. Saved again, going back, reload. So now it is taking one time. That's the issue, right? So let's put a slash when Control Z. Oops, not picking. Okay, no worries. Let's type again. First web, sorry, servlet app. Okay, file changed. Refresh. Click. And still not picking. Okay, that's the issue. So what should we do? We are here. This is our application first servlet app. Type spelling is correct. You can see servlet is missing R. Okay, reload, clicking, and so again there was a typo in servlet spelling. So that's how we give slash then project name and slash and whatever file you have. But you have to make sure that that file should be in open. It should not be in another folder or package. Otherwise you have to mention it as well. So index and home are on same level or directory. That's why I'm able to call it. Otherwise, if there's one more folder, so I have to give that folder name and then slash the file name. Okay, so this is clear how to create anchor tag, then how to refer some external website. If it is an internal website or internal web page, so you have to make sure that you are giving the file project name and then the file name. And if it is inside some other directory or folder, so you have to mention the directory as well. Okay, so things are working fine. We have this page. Fine. Next is what? We already know how to create servlet. So now we are going back to servlet and here we are. So I'll keep it as it is. Let's create one more servlet. Now we are coming to backend code. So if it is backend code, let me start the server then, because server needs to restart to show those changes. This is a package. Okay. So idea is if I request, okay, let's do this in two phases. First of all, let me give you this code here on paint. Why it is highlighted? Again highlighted. Nice. Better. Okay, so we have this tag, and as a result, this is how it looks. So far clear, we just did some basic of HTML tags in terms of linking and how to call a external website or a internal web page. Okay, great, it's working. Now we are going back to servlet topic because that's the main concern here. So as of now, we are just printing everything on console, and that's not how it works. If it is a web page, so things should be on web page. Okay, so going to create new page. Let's say again a servlet. I'll say hello servlet. And if I idea is if I call the servlet, it should say hello on my web page. Okay, so servlet is created. There it is. And oops, my bad. I accidentally created lots of stuffs. So if you get this kind of scenario, I'll suggest make sure that you remove extra stuffs. So extra stuff means just before your class name, we have this line. I don't know what is that for now. Remove it. I don't know what this variable is doing. Remove this constructor, not required. Now we have an option. Either you should go with the do get, this is a method name, or do post. So for simplicity, we'll go with do get, and we will remove do post. Okay, so our servlet is ready and to work with, and even clear this out. So you can see we are with the blank slate. Nothing special, just a simple thing we have on our code. Okay, so how to print on web page? That's the concern. So when we request the servlet generates response. We saw that we have a simple image. We saw that earlier. Um, the first we create a simple image for our applications. So what happened? Client sends request, it goes to server. In case it's Apache Tomcat, it picks that service and whatever class we have, so servlet is there, servlet generate response. So in short, servlet is generating response. So it's the servlet responsibility, like how to create or generate response. So to get response, we have to focus on these two things. I'll suggest as a homework, go to this and check out what these things are. So today's first homework is we have two things in our servlet method, do get method. Why always this in highlighted? Okay, so again, HTTP servlet request, and next argument is response. So these are two things which you have to consider when working. So these should be very clear what these things are. Basically, these are interfaces and they provide power. And you can see the name. It says HTTP servlet request. This is all about request, and HTTP servlet response. So this is all about response. Both are interfaces. So go through its official documentation like we did earlier for other previous classes. So check this out and check what this class are doing, and definitely make a note on it. These are really important. Doesn't matter you are working servlets. In future, we will use these in our Spring Boot as well. Yep, they have they are expanded till latest framework. So this is from you can say it's like 25 years old class or interface. Still, it's working, and this keeps supporting Spring Boot level of frameworks. So this is really critical. You should know. So if you have to change any response, you have to, or actually you have to change or type the way you want to generate response. These are things. So I'll focus on response, and here I'll say response. We are talking about response now. So response dot set content type, and here I'll say it should be text/html, and then I'll say request. Before that, request dot um, um thinking how to put this in front of you, or let's do one thing. Let me give you this homework to you guys. Okay, try this out. How to generate response. Solve it. This is the question. Check this out. Google it or Chat GPT, whatever you want to use. Try this out. So it's just a one line change and it will work. But yeah, I gave you an idea. This class will help you. I mean, both classes will help you in that. So now moving to next piece of example. So what I'm going to do, I'll create a form, a simple form. There I'll create a text field, a simple text field. I'll say this is name. Okay, this is going to be the name, and bottom I'll create a button. I'll say submit, or let's say send. This is going to be my button name. So idea is when I click on this send, this is going to be HTML file by the way. Let's say I'm going to call it name.html. Okay, this is going to be my HTML file. So when I click on send button, So it should go to one more servlet, which I'm going to create, that is servlet.java, and that should say hello, and the name whatever you entering in the text field, we should get that. Okay, this is the idea. Simple enough for understanding what we're up to. So we'll write some random name or dynamic name, and when we click on send, the name should be entered here. Whatever name you enter, it goes here. This is what we're up to. Okay, and before that, let me just verify the previous project we were referring. Are we on track or not? This is done. We already know how to get servlet. This is fine. We already did that. And this is okay, fine. Okay, hyperlinks, fine. This we are done. Okay, same process. So we are going to use this process and see how to get data from servlet to this part. Okay, so here we are. Hello, I'll leave it later. If you guys cannot come with the solution, then we'll fill up. So hello servlet, I'm leaving it. So let's create one more web page, new HTML file again. Let's call this name.html, and here I'll create one input type. Actually, before that we have to create a form. So we have to create a HTML form, and here inside this form I'll create one name. Let's see this way, and it's going to input type text, and give a name. It has a property. We have lots of attributes here. We call this input is a tag, and we have multiple attributes. For one of the attribute is type, and if you press control space, you can get a list of it. So from here I'm going to use name, and let's say user. To make it different, I'm calling it username. Okay, and then close it, done. And in next button, in the next line, I'll get a beer tag. Oops. Beer tag, and here I'll create a button, a submit button. What's it coming up? Oh, sorry, it's a button which has a type. Button type, and here type. Oh, submit, and here I'll say send. Okay, this is done. So let's see how it looks like. So I need to call this HTML page from my link HTML page, and let's copy this, creating one more hyperlink for my name page. So I'll call this name page, and it's going to be name HTML. Okay, change is done, and let's see how it looks like. So right click, run as, run a server, select the server, next, finish. Okay, so we have a hyperlink name page, and if we click, you can see, yeah, name is there. We have some text field, and then send button. Well, right now it's not working, so that's fine. We haven't added any connection between name HTML and servlet. Even we don't have that servlet yet. So let's create a new servlet. Servlet name servlet. So again, how to create? Right click, pick servlet, give the name of servlet, then next, next, and make sure that you are not using to post, and so it will help you to not add multiple extra code. So just keep to get and click finish. Again, I'll do the cleanup. I don't need all the stuffs. So clean, clean, and this as well. Code format. Here we are. Okay, so we are with the again empty stuffs. So idea is how to get the name once you click on name. So first of all, how to connect this HTML page to servlet. So first of all, we have to register servlet. Let's do that first. Then we will do the setup of connection. So I just copied the mapping, and this mapping is actually used by the form. So watch closely. I'm going to use name servlet. That's a unique name throughout the service through XML file, and this is also a servlet name. So you can follow the same pattern, but that should be unique. And here I'm giving the URL button name. And guys, the name you're giving, this should be also unique from your throughout the XML file. So I give the name a reference to my servlet. So I copy this and we'll go back to my form, name form, and on action here I'll give it name and with a slash. So you can guess what happens. So when you click on submit, this end button, it actually see where your action is going. So when you click on send button, it checks the action where it is going, and it checks, okay, it's slash name. So server will check whether this is mapped in Excel file. So it checks, yeah, it is here. So it checks the name, accordingly figure out what's the name servlet, and then it loads the server. So eventually the servlet gets called. Okay, and again, we don't know yet how to print a web page. So for now, let's do this through sysout, and then let's say hello from name servlet. Okay, so at least run this. Let's run this code and see it's working or not. Server is already running, so make sure that stop this change server, because we did some changes in Java file. They won't get reflected unless you rerun the server. So right click, run as, run on server again. Then next finish. Okay, server is up. Name page. Let's create user and send. It says, oops, not found. So you can see it says requested resource slash name is not available, and we are sure even on the URL something is missing, that project name is missing. So that means if you are dealing with a form here, so you have to write the same way like we did here. So you have to keep the project name in your action right here, slash your project name, and now it should pick. So going back, one more back is fine. Now let me close this out, refresh, page opened, then we give the part and say send. Okay, now we don't get any error. URL looks fine because after port it should show my project name and then whatever request. Okay, empty, that's fine because we are not printing anything on web page, but I can see it is getting printed on my console. Hello from servlet. Okay, cool. Now let's move forward. We are done with this part, but idea is how to get that name from HTML page. So what happens when you send request? So all the data from the form present inside the form get binded with the request. That's right. So when you click on submit button, it checks the action, and whatever data you have in your form, they get binded with the request. And if it is part of a request, so I can see my servlet provides me this doGet method, and inside this doGet method we have a request as an argument. So I can say simply request and get me the parameter which is coming from the form, and the parameter name is name. And this is how we fetch data from the form. So what we just did, we know what is the name of this input type. It's username. So I copied this, and this goes here, username. Let's call this also username. I thought it was a name, but no, it's username. And now let's try to print the name. Sysout. Here I'll say hello. Then print the name. Username done. So we did some Java changes. So definitely server goes down, stops, and then again let's read the server, run as, run on server, and finish. Oops, I missed server name. Finish it. Okay, server is up. Let's see again, name page. Let's say send button, and if I check this, you guys can see we are getting this name here. So we inserted something on web page. Now we are getting in our on screen. Okay, Great. There's one thing I want to show you guys. Where is that? We have lots of methods you guys can see. Okay, maybe later we can do that. That is fine. But yeah, definitely you can see we have list of methods which are actually working or a part of this HTTP server request. So you can get attribute names, auth types, content net. Even we have some web things like cookies. So this is also there. We also have a request header. So if you want to get request or list of headers, you can also get that from the request parameter we already used. And if you have multiple fields inside HTML, definitely you can get that as well. Right? Okay. Fine. What else we have to follow up? Okay. Fine. This is done from here. So idea was simple to get the data. So let's put this on int. I can take this piece of code, form, text data. This is the code of HTML. Servlet is here. Don't need this line. And this code from servlet. And we got this message from servlet. Still we don't know how to print on web page. That's your task, guys. So try this out. But today we will continue with the next topic, which is with database. Yes. Now we will interact with database. We know how to create a form, how to send data from form to servlet file. So that is enough. Once we are clear about how to get data on web page, so we will do that as well. But for now, let's create some simple form and we will connect our application with database. Okay, so this is first image, first, this is second, and this is the third part. Okay, now we are talking about servlet with JDBC. Again, as I want that you guys should focus on backend first. So this is what we are going to achieve. So how we are going to approve follow up? Let me create a page. So this is going to a web page, and I'll create multiple hyperlinks like we already have. So one will be insert record, next will be update. Definitely I'll just create one and rest of things will be homework for you. Insert, update, show, and then delete. Okay, so these are going to be hyperlinks. So I have underlined them. These are going to be hyperlinks, or here you can say the name would be crud.html. Fine, this is the first thing. Now let me open my SQL database as well, and then when you click on these links, let's say I want to insert record. Right now we don't have record in this is our record table. Okay, ID and name, that's clear. We can use this. Okay, we'll let's create one more table. So we'll have at least 3 to 4 columns. So going to create new table. let's call this user table, user, and then let's start with ID, then name, the username, then let's say age, and one will be, let's say, email. So that's how we add columns. And apply button, apply, finish, done. Okay, so close all. This is our user record. Fine. So we are able to list, not list actually, we can see some data here. Don't have any data, so we through servlet or through web page we will insert record here. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, so first link says insert. So when you click on this link, it will open again a new web page. That will be a form basically. Okay, no need to do that. So you will have fields like typically a form will have. So ID, name, age, and email. So we don't need to give ID, we will auto increment that. Okay, so how to do that? Let's right click, table inspect, columns. Let's see whether we can give it here. um, I think I forgot how to do that on indexes. ID is here. If it is not there, so we will auto increment it through that, what do you call, generation again. It is not auto incremented. Either you can do that from UI. So we will do this, drop this table, and let me show you how to auto increment it. So drop table, drop now, username. Okay, so this is our primary key ID, and you can see it PK for primary key, not null, and there is AI auto incremental. Just check this box, so things will get auto incremented. So name, then things remain same, age, and email. It is going to be int type, so give it int. Email is fine. Let's make increase the size. I want, let's say, 100. Maybe someone has this. Okay, now that's fine. So the idea was why we dropped that table, because there was this auto increment missing. So here I just want to show you how to add auto increment. So you don't have to give ID in your request. It will be there always. Apply, apply, and finish. So if you are just giving some random data I'm giving, and when you say apply, apply, finish, see, one is already coming up. If I give one more record, random, apply, apply, finish, and 2 is also there. So that's how things will work for ID. That's the purpose of auto increment. Okay, and let's drop these tables. Drop tables, apply, delete, finish. Not drop, deletion is happened. Okay, so we have empty table. Cool. So from UI we will send only 3 things: name, age, and email. And there will be one button, let's say save. Okay, so when you click on save button, this will go to where? A servlet. So a request will be sent from save to servlet. So this is insert, so I'll say insert servlet dot java, and idea is same what we did earlier from that simple form. Same thing we will do here. I'll do what? In steps, fetch data from request, create DB connection like we did in JDBC in Java, then all JDBC code will go here. Okay, and that's save or insert record. Okay, so definitely this will take your understanding of core Java. So let's try this out. I hope no question on this piece of work what we're up to. So going back and close all these files, stop the server. Multiple things are going to be created. Okay, so first we have to create a page which says CRUD.html. So right click, new STL file, CRUD.html, and here I have to create now hyperlinks. So to save some time, I'll copy one link from here, not actually this one, this close, and CRUD page here. This is going to be insert or register. If we don't have any register, let's call this register then. Register HTML. I'll say because this is the text which gets printed to register user. Okay, done. There's a typo, register. Okay, so I have to create one HTML page inside it with the same name. I can copy name HTML as it is. I'll call this register.html. Okay, so we have form, action, this remains same, and here I'll create a servlet which says register, and again it's empty. Okay, and name, before name we have one. Okay, name is already there, so we can create two more fields. So this is going to be username. This is fine. I'll call this age. This is going to be email. Okay, and accordingly change here. It's going to be username, age, email, and this time no sign, it says register the user, whatever YS is coming before. Oops, don't format it, looks bad. Okay, so that's our form, and let's create one servlet as well. So I'm going to create a new package. I won't write here, so I'm going to create a new package for these servlets. So package scom.pack dot let's say CRUD, and here I'm going to create new servlet. Just a second, please. Okay. Yeah, so we have to give the name like we did earlier. So register servlet. Okay, here we are with the servlet. So again, remove extra stuffs. Oops, I forgot to uncheck those checkboxes, and this goes away. Fine. So our code is ready. Now, what else? Second. Okay, so servlet is ready, and at least let's have a look. But again, this is a simple part. This is okay, and we have to register this endpoint or this URL pattern to our web.xml file. So here we are, web.xml. Let's copy this name. Here we'll say regist, register. That's a unique name. Give anything. It could be your class name as well. And this time package name is changed, com.pack.crud. Okay, so this is done. Servlet mapping is done. Now, idea is fetch data from request. This is the first step in servlet. So let's do that. Even you can do it later, but that's fine. It's good to have when your servlet is ready. It should load all the data from form. Okay, so I'll say request dot get parameter. So now one by one we will fetch all that data from here. So first a username, so it goes username, string username, next age, next email. So accordingly change age. Initially everything is string, so don't get confused that age is of integer type, so why I'm storing it in string variable. Everything is string initially. When request gets, it's everything is string. Then you have to manage if required to convert that to a specific type. So now we have all this data. Next we need to create database connection. So, okay, for that I'll go back. Even if you guys remember, we need to create add a jar file to application. So let's add that one as well. So right click, properties, then we have build path, libraries. So here we have to add that library. So under class path I say add external jars, MySQL connector. You must have this jar file, otherwise get it from the web and apply and finish. So once you add that, it must be under reference libraries. Okay, so we have a jar file, great. Now let's create some or add some Java code from previous example. So we have this JDBC package and we did something like this class.forName. I hope you guys remember that. So we needed this kind of code. So for now I will do it in a worst way, like writing everything on same file. Tomorrow we will change it. So I need this, this and this as well, I guess. Yep, and this too. Okay, so I copied everything and pasted. Okay, now we have two usernames, so that's a conflict of the so let's make it name. This will be okay, and because when we use this, so it throws checked exception, so we have to wrap everything in Java try catch. So cut this out. Let's write a not this way. Let's follow the prompt suggested by Eclipse. So let's do this way. So surround with try catch, and if you see when you do this, it only wraps this line because as per Eclipse, these lines are not throwing an exception. But that is no, that doesn't looks good. So cut every single line after that and paste it after it. It doesn't matter, even Eclipse is not giving anything. Okay, next line, this is giving error, so surround with existing package. This is one way you can have a pipe operator and your next example or exception, or you can do what? You can pick this one. So it will add extra catch block. So we have now two catch blocks with one try block. This is done. All exceptions or errors are gone. Great. Now it says insert into the query. I'm going to change its user value, and now how many columns we have to fill up? It's name, age, email. ID is auto generated, we already saw that. So name, age, email. So 3 columns. So for name we already have a field, name. It's coming from that variable from here. So again, as I said, it's a worst way I'm going to write, so that is fine. So double, and we have written this whole thing in a double quotes. Okay, so goes this, name, then age, then email. This is how you have to write this code. Okay, so we just written a query, insert query basically, with multiple double quotes. How to send data from your Java code, Java file to the database. Okay, this is done. And what logic we have added? If this query is successful, we are storing that in a variable status on line 34, and if things works out, so again, as of now I don't know how to print on web page, so I'll print on console that yeah, the query was successful and insert query is successful, otherwise something went wrong, something like that. We can print on again on console. Okay, so looks fine to me unless something goes wrong at runtime. So let's try this out and see how it looks like. So run as server, select server, then finish. Okay, so web page is up. Oh, I forgot to call CRUD HTML page from index. So let's do it. Tag got missed. Starting tag. Okay, this is going to be CRUD, and I'll call this CRUD ops page, operations page. File saved. Reload. There we are. And if I click, we have one link which says register user. And if I click on this, it opens this page. Of course, we haven't used any CSS, that's why it looks ugly, but that's fine. This will work. And let's add one user. Let's say 23. Email at gmail.com or whatever. Okay, so we're expecting if I click on register, this record should go in database, and on console, obviously on Eclipse console, it should say record inserted if everything was fine. This should insert query successful. Okay, let's see. Register. This is empty, that's fine. Expecting, because we are not printing on the web page. Oh, but we are getting exceptions on. So what it says, class not found. This is missing. Still, it is there, but it failed to read this driver class. And definitely, if it failed here, so we can't get anything on here. So if I refresh multiple times, doesn't matter. We are not getting any record. So that means server failed to detect this class, because this is the line which gives you MySQL driver. So something goes wrong when you build your project and deploy it on server. So when you deployed your project, if anything, any file is missing, it won't work. So that's what happened here. So let's figure it out why it doesn't fix that server name. So properties, build path, uh, build path. We should see something. Project. I forgot where that was. Deployment assembly. Yeah, here it is. So if you see deployment assembly, we can see src main Java, src main web app. This is for our application. Src main Java and src main, this one, web app. Both things are here. But what is missing? The jar file is missing here in this list. So from Java, it loads all the Java classes. From web app, it loads all the files, even that XML file and all the HTML file. But it is missing that jar file. So let's see, can we find this here? Build path entries. Yes, there it is. So select and finish it. Now you can see now our web deployment also has jar file. So this was missing here. And where it goes, web inf lib folder. So initially when we were discussing about structure, I told you that in future we are going to use this file. Oh, and this is the lib. So right now it's empty. You can see it's empty, but at runtime, whatever jar file you have added in your deployment package, it goes in lib folder. Where did I find out? Right click on a package name, project name, properties, and under deployment assembly you will see this. So how I know? It's what's its deploy path? Web inf/lib. Where is my Java classes? Web inf classes. Where my all the web app on the root of your project. So whatever things you have added in your web app, they are present on slash on the root of your project. That's why we don't have to give anything else after my project name. After project name, that is index page and all the pages which are present here. Okay, great. So apply close. Let's run the service again. It's all running, so let's stop first of all. Server stopped. Right click, run server project, next, finish. Okay, service up again, close extra stuffs. So CRUD ops page, then register user, RAM, 3 RAM, and register. Okay, still empty, that's fine, expected. Let's see the Eclipse console. Oops, again error. Now it is saying something else. Uh, Syntax error. Near at gmail.com. So it is talking about something about our SQL query we just wrote. Okay, so it says you have wrote something which is not correct as per the MySQL syntax. And it's all because of we have used this statement. Okay, this is something, guys, which is not uh, supported, even suggested by developers, and this is not a way to take anything from your web application to a database, because when you use this kind of approach, we are actually asking hackers to hack our sites. We call this SQL injection issue. So this is one of the data breach where user where the hacker can easily inject the SQLs in these username. You can see we are just kind of plus and then plus. Hacker can also do the same stuffs. They can inject their required script, and that script goes in your database, and that can get executed. So that's really harmful. So on web development or even your core application, this is not a suggested way. If you're working in statement, it won't work. So that's fine. We found one more flaw in our code. As I said, suggested, this is not a good way. I'm just writing a worse code and we'll fix it on the path. Okay, so let's try to get some more precise way to get it. We call this prepare statement. This one. So instead of calling statement, we will call prepared statement. And here we will pass um, SQL is needed, right? So okay, let me type it because we already commented that line. And let's call this downward. So here we will write insert into user values, then this comma this, the comma this. So what we just used, we used placeholder, and it gives you prepare statement. This one. So we'll call this PS, and we have to fill these question marks of placeholders. Okay, we call this placeholders. Placeholders. Okay, so we call this PS dot set first argument. So index 0. Then we'll pick first variable is username. So username. Oops, sorry, it's not set array. I bet. It's what's the type of name? It's string. So I'll say set string. Next, it's a age. So ps dot set int index 1, and then it's going to be age. Next, ps dot set again email. It's a string type. So 3. It's not actually 0. 2, because that was array. That's why I picked 0. So 1, 2, and this is going to be email. Okay, let's see it works or not. And username, sorry, in age is actually a int type, but we are passing this, so make it int, and here we will do the casting int type. It's not working, so let's make it integer type. Why it's not working? Okay, so let's try a different way. Dot to not this way, sorry. We'll use integer class integer dot parse int, and here we'll pass this whole thing and it will give you a string type. Okay, so we just converted in this line we just converted that string to a int type and stored in variable. That variable used here. Okay, this line should also go away, so let me cut this, paste here, and comment out. Then we will say ps dot execute um, update and int. Things remain same here as well. Status. Okay, so insert into user values this. Okay, um, write this out. Okay, it's just a value. Okay, now let's test this out. So server is down. Let's run the server again. Not server. Select server. Next, finish. Close extra forms. CRUD ops. Register user. 3. Okay. Register. Okay. This is empty. That's fine. Oh, still we have error. Now it says what? Column count doesn't match. It says value count at row 1. So what happened here? Now at least that error is gone, right? Earlier it was some syntax error, but that is gone. We just precisely handle that error because of this placeholder. Next is saying column count doesn't match, and that's obvious because it doesn't knows that that ID is auto incremented. So we have to tell in advance that which field we are going to insert. So okay, before doing a change, stop the server. Yep, that's one big headache. Every time you have to stop the server. Can't help with that. Server stopped, and here you have to precisely enter that which field you are entering. So first is name. So verify the column name. You have to mention the column name. So name, age, email. So it goes like name, comma, age, comma, email. Okay, so fine. So we have explicitly mentioned that we are looking for only these columns. So when it goes in the user, so name, age, and email we are entering. That's it. Okay, let's start this again. So right click, run and server. Next, oops, server. Next, finish. Okay, this is done. Close, close. CRUD ops, register user. 23, this, register. Oh, now we're getting something. It says we are getting error on our web page right away. What is that? Let's see again. We are getting lots of errors, so that's how it is supposed to work. So it says for input string empty. Okay, and it is throwing error because of, let's see, line number. So here comes the exception. Number format exception. Okay, fine. If you scroll down a little bit, somewhere it should mention your file name. Um, and I can see it says number format exception. So looks like it is getting issue because of this. It's not able to parse that out. So I give that. Okay, so it is failing to cast this part. Okay, for now let me set it string. This is also string and no type. Just to confirm, because servlet is not that straightforward, it won't give you exception right away. That was one more um, you can say downflow or cons of using servlet. You cannot exactly get the things on your console. You have to add some loggers as well to get the exact line where things are working, because of I know I did something conversion, so it is giving number for an exception. Okay, so I just changed it to string. Everything is string now. Name, age, email. Okay, and let's start the service and let's try this out again. So right click, run as server. Okay, service up, CRUD ops, register user, and try again. Register user, empty page, and it says insert query is successful. Okay, so that's great. Message is there. Let's verify database. Refresh, and yep, database is coming. Okay, so internally it understands the type of it because what I insert in that HTML form, it understood and it converts that. So I was thinking that maybe it would understand, so I was doing that conversion explicitly. So it doesn't require server understand it, so internally it converts back. But yeah, you can see ID is maintained. Because we tried 2 times, so ID was generated 2 times, but it never gets inserted. So that's why ID is 3. So if I go back and insert one more record, CRUD ops, register user, let's say age 22, and register again. We don't have any message on web page, that's fine. We have to fix lots of stuff here, but I just give you idea and give you a structure where you can start working with your own. And Eclipse says successful, and if I go back, refresh, so ID will be 4, and one more record is inserted. So you can see this time we are actually executing everything from web application, not anymore any core application. So from here you guys can start working and try to implement this diagram. So we have HTML, and this was my register.html. Now what you guys can do, you can create 3 more different Java files, sorry, HTML files, and definitely 3 more Java files. So this goes to, you can call the same way, update. I'm giving a name, you're free to use any name you want. This will be show uh, users.html. That this, okay, don't do this for now, it will be hard to maintain. And this is delete. You can go with this delete. So give the ID in your form and delete that record, and accordingly create update servlet dot java, and then delete servlet.java. I'll show you tomorrow how to show records. So do this much, try your best to create these many files. Update will have the same form, and instead of save it will say update. Click on it, goes to update servlet, and fetch data, create connection, and do that. Same way delete will have just one field, ID. So get ID from the user, and whatever ID user will give, just delete it. Okay, and tomorrow we will see how to show data. I hope this much is clear. Any question or concern you guys can say.